All
Alright,
right.
hey guys, it's Grumf here, also known as Der Brute. With me is Rekla, and this is going to be a cast from a replay. We have the video record sent to us, since I was not here to cast it live for you. We'll get this uploaded as soon as possible, and hope you guys can enjoy.
All
Right
right, we
now
have the
we've got
teams here.
we have
Yep.
Brutes versus Sharks,
Yep. Sharks versus Brutes. Yep.
and this should be an interesting match. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know the results. I've avoided
Yeah.
spoilers.
What I found interesting already is that they decided to field the Runesmith. They have Hartney in there, and I would think that he'd have the same issue as Exelius, and that he'd be a hard target. But we'll see how it goes. And it's already started out.
Not only that, but I don't know how much. Have you already started the? You've already started the log.
Yeah, I have, but we can
Oh
read.
yeah. Let's back that up. Sorry.
Okay.
Just get it onto 0, and we'll start it in just a moment.
Okay. I got it at 0 now.
Okay. What? I don't have the lineups, unfortunately. I can't get that without starting the match. So I guess we'll just go into it.
Yeah,
So
let's
it'll
just
be
wing
3,
it.
2, 1, play. All right.
All right.
3,
All right.
2,
Playing.
1.
Wait. Go ahead. Repeat that for me.
Okay.
Thought you were going super fast.
That's all right. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, here we go.
All right. So I don't even. Well, I know my team's rosters obviously because I gave them that before the match. That's
Okay.
going to be Grush, Aro, Branzol, and Xantiln. Going for a little bit of an endurance comp. My plan with that was just I figured we can make sure to sweep a clean 3-0 if we have that healing factor because we can kill them, heal up, kill them, heal up, and not have to worry about the second push when we're all injured.
Oh yeah, the healing should be really, really strong with Grumf and Branzol, just because you have Lay and you have ER, and you have the jungler healing as well. So that's good. And again, what I found interesting about the match was Hartney being fielded. I felt like that was a strange choice. I believe that Nazarene was available, so it seems like they were going for heavy damage. But again, I think Hartney is an easier target, just like Exelius was once they figure it out.
Yeah, and
And Branzel's already opening Smite. Yep.
he's already getting hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
Protection
it seems.
for Auorodict, it seems like.
And it seems like Brutes already know it because there's that early drop kick. They know they can stun Hartney pretty effectively.
And when you protect wrong against Auorodict, if he has a chance to go offensive, he can do some real damage.
The melee damage is real, and so is Screech. So it's pretty good already.
They do have Grendel, but he shouldn't be an issue just because of his saves. He is putting out a lot of damage on Branzol, though.
There is a Dispel on Auorodict, which I wouldn't expect. Grendel is doing a lot of damage. He hasn't been dispelled yet. And just a reminder that Smite did land on Hartney.
There's the meteor shower. Holy crap!
Crazy damage.
Good.
Available only to a select few players, so it's unique in itself to see this on ACFL.
Oh my god, it feels so good to see that.
Mm.
And Grumf has been with us since season 2, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but we didn't, when I was a part of Brutes, we didn't field him that much. And I guess he only got the High Priest rank fairly recently, comparatively.
And even then, Meteo had a recent buff. So
it needed that tone, yeah.
This season is really the first time we've ever seen Meteo used in any kind of competitive format.
There's a Dispel on Grendel, so the saves aren't too tenacious.
No, I mean, you wouldn't think they would be with a Troll Barb. I mean...
No, I thought that going into the first draft. I thought that was going to be the main issue with an already hitter-heavy team, but they made some good selections.
Those Meteos, I can't get over that. And some of that is to Charmies, but still.
Yeah, and the thing that's so amazing about it is that he can put that kind of damage output out there, but he's also one of the most healer intensive classes that you can be.
And
So
not,
that's a priest putting that stuff out.
yeah, and not just healer intensive. Wow, Xantiln's putting out a lot of damage on Shawn as well. Um,
Yeah.
he's getting that free hits on a stance offensive
See,
duel
I
there.
think at this point, if I were Brutes, I would still try to stay Hartney, though. I feel like a Scald is going to defend much better than a Runesmith. Those Meteos coming out still.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some dispelled hits on Shawn, which is really good. Not dispelled necessarily, but definitely unsynced. They are staying on Hartney as much as they can, or Branzol is striking him there. See, when you compare the Meteo damage to whatever output Hartney has, then Grumf is actually out damaging, but he has the benefit of ER. So it's kind of a downhill,
He
you
has
know.
the benefit of ER, Holy Flame, which is a considerable amount of
Yep.
damage
Yeah, unless
added.
you're quaffing Misty potions, it's something like 100 AC drop. And somebody said on the forums recently it was what 1% damage reduction every 10 AC.
10%, yeah. So 10% for 100 damage.
Yeah.
And
So that's
Holy Flame,
substantial.
for those that don't know, is random chance to do either like this 51 minus 102 or minus 153 AC. So it's
Mm,
got a bit of a range, but it's always going to be on those three numbers.
yeah. And it's beneficial either way you look at it, especially over long games.
And that doesn't even factor in, like you said, the ER, which is giving extra healing to Branzol. It's giving extra Song of Heals.
There's another dispel on Grendel. So he is taking some saves drops there.
I think, honestly, they're probably just not focusing on him is why he's getting cast on less than
No,
he
I'd
should
say you're
be.
probably right, just because they're staying on Shawn at this point, and that did pay off because there's the Meteo kill toast.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry, I'm getting easily distracted by these media. They're just, oh, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
But with Grendel, the thing about Troll, even more so than Giant Ogre Barbarians, is even if you can cast all over them, they can be really hard to kill if they're playing defensively. So it doesn't necessarily do you a lot of good to just spam dispels on them if you can't actually get the melee damage off on them.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
If you've got a couple of mages there spamming Acid Blast, that's one thing. But if all you've got is melee, it's hard to kill them, regardless of how many spells they have on.
Yeah. And it looks like Branzol has gotten the early cap. They did finish off Hartney. They're staggering pretty well. I wouldn't kill Grendel just yet, just because I'd try to get a cap and then stagger the toasts. But we'll see what they do here. Grendel is playing against. It looks like he's going to try to suicide, maybe. Yeah, he's going to hit him, and he wants to die. Obviously, I'd try to make him wait as much as possible, but it looks like Xantiln is pursuing anyway.
And that is the typical strategy, is you would try and stagger the deaths so the team doesn't all come out at once. But in this case, I'm also not sure it would matter a whole lot, just given the composition that the Brutes have right now. If you kill them all at once, then you have ER, you have a Priest, you have a Paladin, you have Song of Healing. You can
and Branzol hasn't used Lay yet, I don't think, so plenty of healing left.
So, if you do kill the team all at once, you just have the opportunity. There's the third death.
That was pretty good. At least the tick passed.
But even if you do kill the entire team all at once, with this composition, you have the opportunity to pretty much heal back up to full. And with ER on everybody, you're pretty much going to have all the mana you need for round 2.
I would have tried to stagger them anyway, just because it would have just added that extra benefit. Like, there's no doubt it's beneficial, because what happened here is that their whole team just died fairly close to each other, so they may be able to mount a smaller comeback. But we'll see what happens. And Branzol's picking the second flag up. They didn't stack caps, but it looked like their team was pursuing anyway, and they did get the kills.
That's a bit of a mistake. I mean, even in a match that you think you have a hold of, you need to stack caps like that. For those of you that don't know with ACFL, stacking caps means when you have one flag carrier, typically your primary carrier, he goes across the map to get the score with the flag. You want to have a secondary carrier back waiting to pick up the flag the moment they score.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big difference in time. It's usually only a few seconds. But in a lot of games, depending on how the enemy deaths happen, those few seconds are the difference between the tick hitting and them coming and stopping your capture and getting the free capture while they're dead still.
Yeah, even a few seconds is an extra room exit, you know. So it's worth doing, especially if you know they're not going to come out to hit. Like they have time to do that second cap there, but they lost a few seconds just by not stacking.
So that's a big part of ACFL, and as we see the season move on, we'll see it a little more as teams get back into the swing of things.
And he's about to score here for the second time, I think. Yep. So that's 2-0 so far. And there should be a refresh soon. This tick, somebody may come out. Yeah. Let's see if somebody comes out on this tick, or if Grumf has a little time to get across the map there. There's Shawn. Yep.
And it's Grumf with the flag, which is interesting. They may just be. He is a tough little bastard, I will say. I mean, when you get dwarf toughness plus all the runes, plus really, really, really well enchanted dragon skins, Grumf has just about the highest AC any Mort can have, you know, not counting in vampires.
Yeah, he does. And it's interesting what happened here. Hartney and Shawn came out at about the same time. So they did get those 2 kills on the same tick, if not the next. So that makes you wonder if they should have capped. Yeah, I saw that.
The disrespect. He said, "No, I'm your High King. Get out of here."
Again, Brutes are on the right track now because they're targeting Hartney instead of Shawn, and they're doing it with some success. There's an early pickup by Shawn. He's going to try to delay for his team.
And here's the other thing I don't like about this pick with Hartney. You're up against a jungler who's got weapon toss.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Runesmiths can't do anything without a weapon, so that's kind of an ugly proposition.
A little bit of a soft counter there for sure. Oh, Grendel is out. So the cap delayed for a few seconds, and we'll see how this plays out here. That's going to be 3 members in for Sharks. Hartney's taking all this damage though. He's probably in deep red at this point. So, and Shawn is pretty much stuck because he capped. So Hartney will have to go with Shawn and have Song of Healing here, at least until their healer can get out.
And Xantiln's taking some heat now as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there goes Hartney. And Xantiln will get healed up. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, and none of the Brutes look like they're struggling too much. Grumf should be able to dump some heals into Xantiln maybe. It's not quite halfway into the match, so we'll see how he is on mana. How much is Meteo per cast, do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, but if I had to guess, I would say it's somewhere in the like 35 to 50 range. 35, 45 probably.
Okay. Yeah, with ER you can still get some uptime.
And you know, I could be totally off on that as well.
Yeah, it sounds about right. It looks like Auorodict and Xantiln are both in red, so there's a little hope.
And
there's a little spark.
Is outside the flag room right now. But now he's got a troll on him, and that's never fun.
No, that's not good.
But unless they're blinding Branzol, they could just rescue him at this point. Well,
you know, I don't know if Brutes have targeted Grendel. I don't know if they've tried the
Shawn
spells.
has the flag. That's what's going on here. I missed that.
Yeah, he does. But it looks like Grendel is able to dump all of this offensive hitting power into Brutes right now, and he's not really being dissuaded. He hasn't taken that many dispels. I think there were a couple early on, but since then, nothing.
I wonder if that is indicative of his saves, or if that's just, you know, Brutes not focusing on him too hard.
Not sure, but I would think with a Troll Barb it would be worth at least trying, and Brutes is pretty experienced. Be curious to hear from them on that.
Like I said, I have not. We're casting this from replay, and I avoided any spoilers. I pretty much didn't get on the forums. I didn't get on the game since the matches have happened, so I haven't had a chance to talk to my team. So I can't really offer any insight as far as that goes just yet.
Okay. I think I like that better anyway, just to see it in real time almost. Grendel getting a little bit of a heal with that war cry there. It's probably not that much for a troll, but you know.
I mean, it's still, I think you get around 150 health, something like that, with a war cry. I mean, it's not bad. In prolonged matches, it adds up for sure.
Mm-hmm. Collecting his weapons there. The Tranoth, which is pretty loved by players in ACFL just because it bypasses Dragon Skins, and he can power swing with it.
It's the Tranoth, since Dragon Skins have come through, it's even better. But it's always been the favorite weapon for barbarians, just because you get that magic noun, which means you're doing more damage on average, and then you also have the sharp flag.
Mm-hmm.
And sharp power swings are just beautiful.
Okay, so what happened here, Brutes probably had to do some healing, but they also gave KCS time to get Merilith out there. And Merilith is going to add melee, and he's also going to have a healing pool to deplete. So it looks like this is more of a standstill at this point. Grendel is taking some damage. He's at red right now.
And it looks like it's probably going to be about a 3v4, unless Grumf is now coming back to join the party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grumf's out there. Just out of the way a bit.
Yeah, you can see Grumf kind of moving around a little bit. He's not sure if he needs to go and help, or if he should just sit tight at the flag room. Because
well, Meteo
right
would be helpful at this point, you know? Like, yeah. It might be worth just shambling on.
But on the other hand, it takes so long just to get out there.
It does.
But yeah, you can see him. He's just moving back and forth. He's got some uncertainty because it is a 3v4 for the rest of his team because they're trying to hunt down Shawn and get him dead so that we can finish the game.
Yeah, and considering, because you want Grendel offensive, you're not too sure about a save. Shawn is definitely the best choice for a flag capper right now. Just that Scald defense is just one of the most powerful in the game, probably. And, you have the ideals.
Sense. Yeah, the danger sense is good.
It's definitely powerful against melee. And then on the other hand, you have Minotaur Invoker, which is maybe the most powerful. It's hard to argue with that after DX's defense practically all last season.
When you're talking about the fully roided out ones with the full complement of skill skins,
not Kimpaz.
Definitely,
sure. I think Kimpaz has a little less AC than DX, and maybe a couple of less skins. I'm not sure. It seems like he does take more damage than DX for sure. But that doesn't stop Stars from doing really well either. And we're still at a still here. It looks like just some healings going down. Both teams are with each other, pretty much.
But they're doing, the Brutes are doing this right. They're just taking advantage of their greater healing. They're not forcing the issue, trying to close things out too soon. They have the healing power. They're taking advantage of it. They regrouped. They're going to heal up and go back in for round 2.
They do, but I'm still curious because this late into the match, the Brutes definitely have to be lacking some mana. But then on the adverse, you have KCS, who has much less healing input.
Here's the thing though. At this point, ER has probably run out, but Grumf has been untouched for several ticks now, so he can probably prayer again and get that ER back on everybody since nobody has touched him.
Yeah. And you do have to remember prayer with priests. That's the one caveat that you have to sort of keep in mind when fielding them. Okay, they're targeting Hartney again, so they're on the right track here. See, it's so scary to leave Grendel open like that. Like, he's not taking damage, and he's just unloading all this damage into the team. And a Troll Barb is pretty substantial against melee teams.
I mean, you definitely want to do something to get him off your back, whether that's no eyes or just dirt kicking him,
Yep.
disarming him, what have you.
Yep. Even a dirt each tick, refreshed would be useful.
But I do think not targeting him is the correct response. You kind of have to let it have some free reign, at least with this lineup. Without the spell damage, it's hard to get past the troll defenses.
And I agree with that. Just Hartney is such a juicy target that it would be better to mitigate Grendel, but I think Brutes could do that a little bit better execution wise, just because Grendel is just pursuing pretty relentlessly here.
If they could coordinate Dispel and Meteo, maybe they could get some good damage off on Grendel. But with the randomness of Meteo, you can't really guarantee which target's going to get the brunt of the damage. It's a bit of a gamble.
And they're trying to hit Shawn a little bit, but it's not. Or Shawn's just intercepting. See, everybody's kind of wobbling around a little bit, so you get the impression that there is some health mon issues going on. See, just remember, Brutes have been out in this arena for a long time now. So when there's the lay.
Yeah.
So Auorodict is taken care of at least, and that was probably a good lay considering.
So it looks like everybody's just regrouping, healing back up, and getting ready to go back in for round 3. You see, Branzol is obviously. Oh, that's what he was thinking about. He was thinking about how to get his sanctuary potions out of his pocket.
some deep thought went into that, but it's resolved now. So, okay, they are targeting Grendel a little. There's another dispel in Auorodict. Merilith, he's probably got imbue, but I'm surprised. But I am surprised that Auorodict has taken dispels almost as often as Grendel has.
Well, at this point, it could be that blesses are falling. I'm
the
not
zaps,
sure exactly how many ticks it's been.
It's been a few, and this is a pretty long match. We are in 20 minutes in at this point, so it could have been that they fell, and it would be good to actually note that kind of thing halfway into the match.
Would be given the way this is all playing out, it would be entirely possible for the Brutes to just back up, re-wand bless, and go back into it. Take advantage of the fact that while you're blessing, you're gaining mana from ER as well. And I don't think Sharks are looking too eager to push out across the map to try and end things.
No, it seems like they're in about the same issue. And Grumf has finally got to the team, and he's dumping some Meteos again.
It's interesting. It does seem like both teams have kind of gotten tired of this.
There's a toast on Grumf.
Ooh, regroup.
So that could be a little bit of a change. We'll see. Shawn is going to push at this point.
And there goes Auro.
Okay, so definitely KCS is probably going to get some caps off here. Now, remember, Auorodict is laid, so he could interfere somewhat. But we'll see.
Right. Branzol and Auro against all 4 of them. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, especially if KCS plays it correctly and interferes. Just something to observe is KCS only has Grendel as far as reliable blind, and I wouldn't imagine that a Troll Barb would blind too well. Maybe relatively.
Actually, I know as Grush, I actually have very, very good dirt kick. I'm not sure if there's a size factor in there as well, or could be a factor of merit. Or,
could be. There is the first KCS capture.
Yep.
So it might end up being 2-2. We'll see. We'll see how fast Brutes get back out there. Again, it looks like they didn't stack caps, so there's one small factor. Maybe everyone else is just too hurt
Well,
to
yeah, this
capture,
is
or
this
they need
is
to fill them.
this is definitely a situation where it's hard to stack captures because you don't want to risk splitting up when it's this kind of situation.
Yeah, and only
Yeah,
Merilith is really refreshed. It looks like Shawn picked up the flag again, even though Shawn is less health than Merilith. So we'll see how that works. Xantiln is out and still hurting Hartney pretty well.
and Branzol has taken a lot of damage with those runes.
hmm But there's a Hartney though. Xantiln is really hurt, but that still evens it up a little more.
And they're just running a little bit of interference, slowing them down, doing what they can to stop that second flag from going across the map. But Shawn is respelling manually, not with potions, and that's
Yeah,
not something you want to do in fights like
certainly
this.
not in a long game. No.
So I'm not sure if he just ran out of potions or if he's been doing that all match. That kind of thing can add up.
Well, something else to consider is that the brutes like to use their freezing bot weapons, so it could have been that some potions got shattered.
That's definitely true as well. It's hard to keep all of your potions protected.
Mm-hmm. Xantiln has played pretty well. He's unloaded a lot of damage on Grendel, and he's very tenacious. Like it takes a long time to take him down.
Yeah, he's very good at staying at the outskirts of the fight and not letting you focus him down. Just trying to pop in, get some free damage off, and back off before you get a chance to turn on him.
Yeah, and you'll find the best swashbucklers do that. Both Xantiln and Kid are both really good about staying in the periphery. And one thing I've observed just in combat against Xantiln is that he plays very smart about it. He'll wait and basically hide with auto assist off until you get in spell lag, and then he'll hit you, which is the perfect play for a swashbuckler. Which is why it's so important to keep a lot of these hitters blind throughout the
All right,
matches.
well, it is 2-2 now.
Okay, so now we have a game. But what I see happening is brutes are going to refresh in full, and that's going to spell doom.
Yeah, and here's
There's the
Grumf.
Meteos already.
That was Meteos.
Yeah,
Damn.
and he's going to have a full mana pool to deplete here. So basically, it's going to be the killing blows at this point.
I mean, all they have to do is sit in a room, heal up, and then the fact that Xant and Branzol are injured right now isn't going to mean a whole lot with Aro and Grumf doing mass heal, Song of Healing for a couple rounds.
Oh, there's a blind on Grendel, and they're also tripping him. So I wonder if his potions also got destroyed. Because it's always good to have flying potions there just when that happens.
Sure. That's why I like Libations of Speed. You get that fly and haste. The haste is pretty weak. It doesn't last a whole long time, but it's a combo, and it comes burn proof from the store.
Looks like Branzol just hit Grumf. He must have been trying for Grendel, and he just didn't do the 3 letters.
Noob.
Yeah, he's back on Grendel, and Grendel has still doesn't have fly refresh.
There we go. He's back up now. He did swap a feather rimmed potion.
Okay.
Finally. Sometimes you forget what potions you have. It takes you a while to figure it out, especially in a crazy match like this.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to pursue Grendel off that, and Grendel's moving away a bit. He knows that he's prey at this point.
There goes Shawn. So they really don't have many options as far as the flag carrier at this point. Merilith is basically their only option. Grendel's far too hurt to carry.
Everybody is in red. So basically, it's just going to be a cleaning up process for brutes at this point. It's to KCS's credit that they took a fairly hopeless scenario and they got the 2 scores. Every little score counts in ACFL, so that was good of them.
For sure, it can mean the difference if you're tied at the end of the regular season. The flag score can mean the difference between making it into the playoffs and not. everybody's just running around right now. It's
Yep,
I mean,
Grendel's still being pursued.
the brutes are all healed up except for Branzol. It looks like. But then again, Branzol might be out of mana, so they may not be wanting to spend too
Well,
much mana on
Xantiln
it.
is still pretty low, so it's not completely. They're not out of the woods yet, but it's you still have Auorodict fully refreshed, and brutes. A Grumf still probably has plenty of mana, and there's a Meteo again. So again, the favor is pretty definitively in brutes' hands at this point. Just because KCS have suffered the same issue that brutes had earlier into the match, which is that they've been out there a while. They don't have the healing that brutes do.
The funny thing right now is Grumf is not protected against Grendel, so he's getting those power swings and the sharp flag power swings. And Grump keeps thinking he's not sanctuaried. He keeps quaffing sank potions, trying to mitigate that damage, but
That troll
you're already
damage,
protected.
and there's a toast on Grendel finally.
Alright, so there
So
goes
that
their
should,
damage.
yeah. And Grendel has actually been a monster this match, you know, in a traditional Beowulf style. Yeah. I expected the saves to be more of an issue, but either it's a lack of targeting. He has taken a few dispels, but they haven't been decisive in any way. And Merilith is dead now, so that's their main healer. This is a cleaning up process. We're nearing the end of the match, and it looks like they're just going to collect. Branzol is picking up the flag. He's hurt a little bit, but it shouldn't matter. They should be able to defend so well with Auorodict that it'll be a non-issue. Hartney is an easy target for brutes.
I mean, all you have to do is disarm, and they can't do much.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And there's dropkick on Hartney, which is just it spells death for runesmiths.
Yeah, you don't have much playback against that. They're absolutely more of a support class. They, a solo situation, they don't have many options.
Yeah, and again, it's the same issue that brutes had with Exelius when they were fielding him. Exelius was one of the most valuable players we had, but he was such a glass cannon that he had to play very carefully and in the periphery and unload bombs and then move away. And if they could get him in a room for a few seconds, then he could just get 3-rounded. I mean, it's as simple as that.
And runesmiths are a little bit hardier, but they are also less bursty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're trading a little bit for a little bit there. Oh, and Hartney looks like his sync dropped, and
Shawn's
that is really bad.
And he's going for the flag, but it's going to be
Hartney just got toasted because of lack of sanctuary, though. So that was an easy mistake to mitigate. I don't think it matters too much, other than Shawn is going to delay again.
Yeah, I mean it's 4 versus 1, and he doesn't even have the option to flee, so it's going to end pretty quick.
Well, it's interesting because it looks like KCS just did the same thing that they did halfway into the match, which is that brutes were pretty much defining the match. Then Shawn refreshed, goes in and caps, and that gives them a little more room to get out there. But I think they have less time on their hands. I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
No, and let's see. Does he have a weapon at this point? Yeah, I'm not seeing any weapon hits from Shawn, so he should be.
Yeah, he's taking all this damage. They did a much better job of just going to him immediately, and they're going to get a toast here.
Come on, finish with the Meteo.
There it is. No, no Meteo finish. Just Xantiln's crazy hitting.
All right, well, that was a little closer than I wanted. I'm going to be honest, from the perspective of the owner, but it was pretty well within our hands the entire match. A lot of matches, even when it ends up being 3-2, it's still one of those situations where you can get those 2 captures sometimes, and still get rolled over for the rest of the match.
And sometimes it's purposeful. Like you know that you're going to get capped against, but it's just the most effective way to win. And you know when it comes to winning or taking 2 points, you're obviously going to choose winning. And Brutes did what they had to do. I expected that Brutes would be more of a counter to KCS's fairly melee-heavy team, but I would say that a couple of the players in KCS played really well this game. In particular, you saw Grendel as a standout player for KCS, running a lot of melee damage and, in general, avoiding what I would assume to be a saves issue. You know.
Hmm. He did it, and again, I'll have to talk to my team to see how much they were focusing to see how his saves played into this. But he did what you need to do as a spellbait character in a game in a match like this, which is float around, try not to get focused on too much, and go in for the damage when you can avoid being targeted. And he did that very well, especially once he got into Peace Wing range, and you get to get those mega hits off on people unprotected.
Hmm. And I'm looking at the ACFL page now, and I don't think the standings have been updated quite yet. It looks like somebody hasn't gotten on here yet, but that should leave Brutes at 3-1, correct?
I believe that's correct, but I'm not 100% sure to be honest.
Right. And that'll bring KCS down to 1-3, I would assume. We'll just go with those numbers at this point.
They sound as good as any to me. Um, so that's gonna be it for this match. Hopefully we'll have, or I will have the other match from tonight up soon for you. I'm gonna have to find a caster for that as well. And then Tuesday night, we should both be here for you, and we'll get those matches casted live,
Yeah,
or
I'm
at least
looking
one of
forward
them.
to it. And another thing to wait for is that Brutes and Stars, you know, the top two
Roots and
teams, they're going
Stars
to be.
next Sunday. Yes,
Yep. Well, is it Sunday? I thought it was.
I think so.
It'll.
But
It looks like Thursday, January 22nd.
okay, see, this just shows you how much I know about the freaking schedule.
But that'll be a good match, and it's just a couple days away. So stay tuned.
All right, we're gonna sign out for now. Stay tuned.